I think becoming a VTuber just might have saved my life. During my entire time at school, I did not really know what I wanted to do in my life. None of the subjects were interesting to me at all. I just did the schoolwork because everyone told me to. Free will was not invented in my brain quite yet. However, there was one thing that I was really passionate about, and that was content creators. I used to watch the Yogscast. Unironically, I used to watch FaZe Clan back in the day. There was something so magnetic of seeing the creativity of normal everyday people. They were authentic, which was completely different compared to the highly produced and kind of soulless content that we always see on television. Even though videos on YouTube and streamers back in like the early to mid 2010s didn't really seem like much compared to what we see nowadays, they were actually able to make a decent living out of it, proving that, yeah, you can definitely financially support yourself in this job. So naturally, as a little kid, I said, I want to be just like them. But here's the thing, chat, okay? For every one successful content creator, there are thousands, tens of thousands out there who have tried and failed. It was a risky move. What if I also failed? What would I do? I don't have a backup, no job, I don't have a degree. I could possibly be a disappointment to my family. So in fear of that future, I killed my dreams of being a content creator before it even started. And for the rest of my school days, I just After graduating school, you're expected to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. But I didn't really have any plan for what I wanted to really do. But I had to keep myself afloat somehow and earn some money. That's fine. Just go out there, apply for some jobs here and there, like...
Authorities are still working to identify the virus.
People are believed to have been sickened by the new virus.
And announcing stay-at-home orders.
There was this one tiny thing in 2020 that got in the way of me getting a regular job. You might know it. It began with the letter C and it ends with 19. Everyone was out of nowhere online, including myself. I couldn't get a job even if I wanted to. However, among all of the chaos, we did not have anything better to do except for like watch YouTube, Twitch, and so on and so forth. And this is a golden opportunity. There was one small community that was quickly growing for the English VTubing scene. They had a high focus on live streaming. It was a perfect match for the 2020 to 2021 era. Everyone was indoors, so they weren't able to interact with other people like they normally would be. So they craved human interaction, which made a lot of people flock to Twitch and VTubers. And what made these VTubers so special was that, yeah, we do look like a fictional character, but because we are controlled by a real human being, our avatars who on the surface look like fictional characters are actually able to talk and feel emotions like a real human that you, the audience, can interact with. It was a virtual escape from the 2020 chaos. This blend of me always loving content creators and being stuck inside the house with nothing much to really do, and a whole new VTubing scene giving a new opportunity for new creators. A spark happened that revived a dream that I thought died back when I was still at school. Because I had nothing to really do, I couldn't apply for any jobs. All I had was a PC and nothing to really lose. I finally decided to do content creation. But there was one problem though. After weeks of trying, I wondered to myself, what am I doing wrong? So I began researching what other popular VTubers are doing. I noticed that I was nothing like any of the other popular VTubers during this time period because they were all girls. Male VTubers do exist, yes, and some even found success, but the vast majority of popular VTubers back then, and even nowadays, are mostly women. It was kind of discouraging, I'm not gonna lie. And so I thought, nah, why am I even trying? Why would someone want to watch a guy like me? But in 2021, a fateful encounter happened that changed everything for me. I came across a new debut of Hololiv's first English generation called Holomyth. If you don't know, all of them were very fantastical in their own way. There was Kiara, who's like a phoenix, Mora Calliope, who's literally the Grim Reaper, Galgura, who comes from Atlantis, and Ino, who's literally inspired by Cthulhu, which is insane. All of them have skills. They can either sing, they can draw, or both in some cases. But there was one standout VTuber in that group, and that was Amelia Watson. She stood out because she looked like any ordinary girl among mythical legends. Unlike every other person in her wave, she can't draw, she can't really sing that well compared to the others. But despite her lack in those skills, she made up for it in other ways. She had the most creative streams. She hosted spelling bees, interactive outfit reveals, helped make multiple VR chat maps for special events when no one else would, not even her own company that she was backed by. And seeing her rise to become one of the most popular VTubers in the world, despite her being very unconventional, was very inspiring. All I have to do is just find what makes me special, just like what Amelia Watson did. So thanks to a global virus and a silly detective, I finally took my first steps in my VTubing journey. 4 years later, here I am, doing what I love, and finally having some sort of direction in my life.